Armies. Welcome back to this very different episode of the CC-Podcast.telco. Today, I'm joined by my colleague Lara from the CC team, and together we're going to discuss the most recent edition of the Woman in Tech magazine, sponsored by iBasis. And thank you very much to iBasis for supporting the Woman in Tech initiative and helping carrier community to empower women in telecommunications. Now, Lara, I'd like for you to tell us all a little bit about yourself, your role at carrier community, and specifically your role in getting the Women in Tech initiative off the ground.
Hi, Eva. So my name is Laura, and I'm Media and Communication Manager at Carrier Community. I was responsible for managing the content for Women in Tech magazine. I must say I'm very proud of us, of our team, and what we have achieved with this project. It's inspiring.
That's great. We actually have 2 copies of the Women in Tech magazine here with us today. And we're going to run through some of our favorite articles, favorite pieces of input from women from the carrier community ecosystem and everything that they had to share about their experiences within this industry. So I'd like to kick off with our executive article with Judith Gardiner from Equinix. She had so much to tell us about her role at Equinix and specifically how she got there. So she didn't really have formal experience in senior management before she got this role. And she told us a little bit, she told us a little bit about the challenge of overcoming that fear of asking for help and asking for support.
Right? It can be difficult, right?
And women especially can be very shy about reaching out for this help. You never know how it will be received, especially when you're looking at senior management roles. So this is what she had to say. It's so important not to shy away from asking people for help. Having benefited so much from the encouragement and support of my colleagues, I want others to feel like they can ask me for help if they need it.
Well, Judith also mentions about taking opportunities that feels good in our gut, rather our heads. I strongly believe that as a woman, it's our superpower just to follow our intuition and taking more of those opportunities that actually feel good.
Right. And she also had to share a little bit about the support that she got from her colleagues at Equinix, and especially from Equinix's Women Leadership Network, which she said was a great incentive with giving her that push to put herself forward.
In this magazine, we also feature Brittany Marley from Stack Infrastructure, who takes us through various initiatives taken by Stack, which promotes more sustainable and equal way of doing business. We at Stack take pride in working towards our environmental, social, and governance goals for many reasons. It is the right thing to do for our people and the planet. It lays the foundation for our industry to operate long into the future while consistently being considerate of our resources. It aligns with the goals of our customers who share our passion for ESG. Our entire partner ecosystem is on the same page, relentlessly striving to operate our business in a more responsible and sustainable way from the start to finish. Working with the people whose values align to ours is so important, otherwise there will be plenty of bumps on the way. I'm currently reading this book by Dr. John DeMartini called The Value Factor, and it explains this concept in depth. I recommend it to everyone, actually.
Okay, I'm going to take a note of that one. We also heard from Jurgana Kuskrinska from Schneider Electric. She told us a bit about her perspective on the implicit and unconscious biases that you can find in the workplace, particularly in a male-dominated workplace. She's coming from one foot in the world of telecommunications and one foot in the world of engineering, which are two very male-dominated industries and very old-school industries. She told us a bit about how some of these biases against women may not be conscious, but from my perspective, unconscious biases can be the worst for a company's culture, because if they go unchecked from management and also from those who are being discriminated against by these biases, they can really fester. Here's what Jurgana had to say. Another challenge is old-fashioned managers who are not aware of their unconscious biases. For example, sometimes men treat female colleagues differently than male ones without being aware of this.
We have to also mention Luisa Munarati from Docama Digital, who tells us that her dream career as a child was to become investigative journalist. And she even applied for the prison guard job as a teenager. Well, fortunately, her dad did not permit her to do so. So she found herself in the telecom industry. I did notice though that a lot of people in this industry tend to have interesting backgrounds, and Luisa is not an exception.
We get to see that at our events. You meet people from so many different walks of life, and you meet people who are, well into their careers, well into senior roles, who actually never really imagined that they would be in such a position. Yeah. So I think it goes to show that telecommunications and tech industries, STEM, can be such open places. There's never just one road to get into any career path, and we need to keep pushing that. It's initiatives like this that make sure that it stays that way. There is always a risk of this world becoming an old boys club, but it doesn't have to be that way.
Absolutely, it doesn't. Well, in this issue, we also feature Cristina Conti from Google, who is experienced technology lead, and she just tells us about her own experience of juggling motherhood of 2 young children and, well, let's be honest, quite demanding career.
That's 2 full-time jobs.
Yes, and she explains us that even though having supporting partner at the home, still these days, majority of the heavy lifting as such falls on the woman's shoulders, and it is unfortunate. Christina also shares a great career advice, which is very simple and very straightforward, which is study, 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 and continue to learn. I believe all of us could agree that just gaining knowledge, learning is the way to success. Well, and of course, implementing that knowledge.
Absolutely. You're always learning, always growing. It doesn't matter the job title, the level of seniority. That's why we look for such transformative initiatives as Women in Tech. That's why it's so important to learn but also share knowledge, and that is pretty much our main goal here at Carrier Community. So I'm so glad that Christina had that to share with us. We also heard from Manuela Gembushi from ARC Solutions. So I find that with the Women in Tech initiative, with the panels, with the articles, with the magazine, we really get to hear the hard skills, but also the soft skills. We get the 2 sides of the coin from a lot of the women who contribute. So when I say soft skills, I mean the things that we kind of need to do ourselves, the work that we need to do inside of ourselves to make sure that we are giving our best. And I think for women, that often means not shying away, not stepping down, as Judith had shared, seeking out support from our colleagues and from our peers. And then we also have the hard skills, which is really great to hear from those who are in these really senior roles in the business, because they have that bigger perspective. So, this is the things that can be done within the company at an infrastructure level to make sure that employees coming to work with the best mindset are given the best opportunities. And Manal had the following to share. The best initiatives are the ones that focus on the well-being of their employees, that strengthen their complaint system around harassment, and promote the use of inclusive language in the workplace. That's like the perfect 3, right? Those are those real hard rules that you can apply to any company context. Okay, Lara, I'm going to let you get back to the office, but thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so happy that we got to do this. And for everybody out there who would like to check out this edition of the magazine, I would highly recommend that you do, men and women alike. You can find it through our media portal at carriercommunity.com, and you'll also be able to find physical copies at our upcoming events for the rest of 2022 and early in 2023. Laura, congratulations once again on such a great edition of the magazine. There's so much great stuff in here.
Thank you.
And I hope we get to do this again sometime.
I'm excited.
Let's see. Okay, ciao for now, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.